stream. We was having some mad crazy camera issues, specifically with the GoPro. But you know, I got it. I got it figured out. I Make Mad Beats is
Yes,
not here with
sirski.
us this week. It's okay. This man is in DC, getting life,
Getting life.
together right now. But we here. It's me, Kid Maestro, Elo, and C Major.
C major.
Yeah, say what up, y'all.
What up?
Yeah, what it do in this motherfucking
What
man?
you do?
Elo is
Oh,
distracted,
boo-boo.
as always. You're not really here, not present.
Extravagant. Yes, I've
We got the
arrived.
sound effects. Yo, I feel like next week we gotta figure out how to get that joint hooked up.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man. So it's 901 day, man. September 1st. As a person originally from Chicago, this is a new.
This means nothing to me.
It's previously meant nothing to me at all. I could have cared less about September 1st. But now that I've been here for, I think, 8 or 9 years,
You from here now?
you know what I'm saying? Like, I totally get 901 day.
Yeah.
For those of you not in Memphis, the area code of Memphis is 901. So, 901, September 1st is a clever way to celebrate all things Memphis. So, one thing I want to talk about today is the influence of Memphis in producer culture, bro. And beats
Sheesh.
and music, man. I feel like it goes, and this is something that, you know, I'm about to knock the screen over. I'm relatively
That boy passionate.
new and
Been
finding
here
out.
for 10 years.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
said.
got the new mic set up. I gotta get used to it. But yeah, man. So like, C Major, tell us about like how. What are some of the ways that people don't know Memphis has influenced where we at right now? Yeah, C Major backs. Shout out DP Mason.
DP, what up, man?
Oh yeah, and okay, so we gonna talk about that, and we gotta talk about Red Bull Miami, bruh.
Yeah.
You gotta tell us what that was like.
That shit was crazy, bro. Where we start? We starting with the Memphis.
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay,
Memphis.
let's talk about Memphis
Out of
first.
respect.
Out of respect to 901.
Out of
Let's
respect.
talk about Memphis first. In what ways do people not know? I feel like it's. I don't know. Maybe just because I'm here, I feel like it's becoming more common knowledge. But even still, when I was out in Miami and I was talking to some people, they still didn't know. A lot of the ways that Memphis is ingrained in a lot of these songs that we hear today, whether it's by influence or by actually being, you know, a part of the record. But I'll start is as far back as I can mentally take it, like it's as far back as I was here, you know, and in music and understanding it with Drummer Boy. And Kid has a pretty interesting story about Drummer Boy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Drummer Boy. You know, for all reasons. But before Kid met him, you know, he was a little bit of a weirdo. But before then, man, he was a big influence on trap music and trap, and the beats that he was doing was ridiculous. I was just watching a video. If y'all Travis Scott fans out there, before Travis, but the really before this was, if you a Travis Scott fan, but the one that really turned them up days before Rodeo, Lex Luger had a beat on Days Before Rodeo called Basement Freestyle, and Travis just basically, you know, spit over one of Lex beats. But Lex was breaking down that beat, and that beat is fucking crazy. If y'all haven't heard that song, man, listen to that shit. Lex Luger put his fucking foot in that fucking beat. That beat is crazy. Like, it's some shit like well, I know now, but even before I watched Lex deconstruct it, I felt like Lex was in a different period. He was trying to really take. I feel like that was right after he had worked with Ye on Ham and some other shit. And he was really just trying to figure out how to take his production to the next level. And that beat was that. But Lex was just talking about his process while making that beat, and he kept saying, like, he said about 4 or 5 times how much of an influence Drummer Boy was on him. And it's crazy, like, if from that time, like, you know, early 2000s or mid 2000s, like, Drummer was that nigga. Like, he was on everything. He broke Drake to me. Like, Money to Blow, I wouldn't have listened to that shit if I read an article that said Drummer Boy produced this Drake song, and I was like, oh, who is this? You know, who's this kid? And so, and that beat is crazy. Like Drummer Boy really, like, and a lot of people thought he was from Atlanta. He lived in Atlanta. He repped Memphis. He still repped Memphis, but I think at that time Atlanta was just cool, and that was the spot to be. And so his influence has led so many other producers that we're listening to now that have led other producers. Like Lex is a son of drummer in a weird way, and then now Lex got kids. You know what I mean? Like he like a grandfather now, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not in age, but in like influence and cultural influence. This man got sons of sons. You feel me? Like so that's one way. Then we can go recent. Like I was even talking to people about Jazzy. And they didn't even, a lot of people didn't even, and she's still like going hard, and so people still ain't really caught on unless you really know what's up. But
so real.
you know, but Jazzy is from Memphis and done worked on probably one of the biggest records in the last 10 years. She, you know, if y'all don't know, she wrote Billy Ray Cyrus's verse on the Lil Nas X remix. What's that song called? Old Town Road. But yeah, that song was fastest song to go diamond ever. You know what I'm saying? The only song in the last 20 years I think that is diamond, which of course because it's the fastest song to go down. It's ridiculous. It's the most streamed song ever now. I think it still holds that record.
Wow.
But the record is clearly gone crazy, and you know the Lil Nas X version was fire, but what really, you know, set it up was that Billy Ray Cyrus verse, and you know Jazzy T that's up perfect, and she's written, you know, tons of hits since then and before then. She's been in rooms with Beyonce and shit like that, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you in this podcast, you probably know, but a lot of people don't know that, you know, she's from Memphis. She's from right down the road, in Westwood, where I grew up, a part of where I grew up, and yeah, but like people like her, and it's a lot of like people like that don't get that credit or haven't got that recognition, or even if they do get that recognition, people just don't know that they're from here. And then you can go to the legends. You can go to, you know, Paul and Jay, who, you know, I don't care who you put up against as far as producers, them motherfuckers is the coldest. And in my book, I always put them in my top 5 because look at their influence, you know, 20, 30 years later. It's even crazier now, really, if you think about it. And I feel like in the 90s, people was like, what the fuck these people doing? And now everybody's just stealing that shit and jacking it, or sampling it, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. But
if you got like a Memphis joint like on your situation, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you think about like the biggest artist in the world right now, which is Drake. Like, bro, what were his 2 biggest songs? Was it Look Alive and Nonstop?
Yeah,
Like,
Take Heed.
You know,
Yep.
Take Heed. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck these niggas up.
Yep.
Multiple joints. It's like, you know, that's who you go to. You go to Memphis artists, bro. Even on like gave another hit to Internet Money. Salute to Jazzy.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to
That was her song. Lemonade was her song. It was out on Apple Music, and Internet Money was like, y'all want that, and put Don Toliver on it, and that shit went fucking crazy. Like, she's a walking hit, bro.
She's mad cool too.
Yeah, super
Just
cool.
From, like, I hadn't had a chance to like intimately hang out with her, but those couple times she came to the lab, mad cool. And I know you guys have spent a little bit more time with her.
Yeah, she's I grew up with her and didn't even know it, and that's a whole crazy situation. But she's super cool.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, like, and even on a larger level, like, you know, a lot of our
on a larger level though, Kanye. On a smaller level.
Why don't you just step back?
I'm saying
Do it
Kanye
yourself,
on a
man.
smaller
Do it
level.
yourself.
You ain't got the answers. What's the name of your club?
You don't know.
Alright, we on the tangent, bro.
What's the name of your city? You don't know. But yeah, like, I was just saying, like, even our musicians, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They be out in LA, like, all Memphis artists, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's just, I don't know, bro. And like, I would love to. I feel like niggas gotta, whole cast gotta be here to really get into this conversation. But just like, you know, the whole introduction of trap music in terms of the sound that what we call, you know, T.I. and Atlanta have definitely claimed
You
that.
ain't got it.
But I mean, you know, back in the '90s, I feel like, you know, it was like Goody Mob and the Outkast and Dungeon Family, and here it was.
Yeah,
3 6.
it was 3 6.
So I don't know. What do y'all think, man? Did trap is trap music from Atlanta?
I don't even think that's a question. Like, niggas know trap music is from Memphis, bro.
Nigga,
The Trap Museum.
That's not even a question.
come on, dog.
Niggas might be trapping in Atlanta. That's a different. But trap music, my nigga.
Yeah.
That's some Memphis
I
shit.
feel like the term trap music might have started in Atlanta.
Whatever you want to call it. Maybe they. I don't know. But the sound, my nigga, is. I was watching. I'm not watching. I was listening to that T.I. I was listening to the Lil Scrappy first album, and the interludes is straight some DJ Paul shit. And nigga, it started out, yeah, man, and then it's like the beat in the background. He like just talking and shit, like classic like 3-6 DJ Mafia. DJ Paul
I
shit.
do have a question. If you know, like the term crunk, that's definitely like I first heard that Lil Jon and East Side Boys back when I was in like 4th grade. When that album came out, and Lil Jon was on the Crunk Juice everything. But is the term crunk is that something that people in Memphis was saying?
Paul was saying get crunk, motherfucker, get crunk. He was saying get buck too. But Buck and Crunk was like both of them. I feel like Paul did that. And I ain't got no hard evidence. I had to go back and listen to the song. But I'm pretty sure you scared. Oh, he was saying Crunk. He might have been saying Buck though. So I gotta go back and fact check that. Niggas might know in the chat though, like what Crunk.
But y'all, where does Crunk come from?
Buck,
I'm pretty sure Crunk
those,
was.
Those are all terms I was hearing from Atlanta artists. Like the Lil Scrappies at the time. But just when Deuce came out with that John, I was like, is that some Memphis shit? And what's funny is like my girlfriend, like jokingly says get crunk all the time. Like that's just something she says. She's from Memphis, so
yeah.
I was just curious, bro. Elo, what are the influences of Memphis?
Man, hella influences. I ain't even gonna lie, like I kind of like grew up pretty like sheltered, so to speak. So I didn't even like find out about like I've definitely heard it throughout my life, but I haven't like found out and like really kind of dug into it. Like people like 3-6 Mafia and like Project Pat until like high school maybe, or a little before high school. And like just the whole, like, cause my only like, field of view of like Memphis, rap music was like Mempop and like, the hip hop circulating like in the underground. And so I wasn't even like aware of the trap aspect and its influence until like high school. And I feel like it's a lot of like people in Memphis, at least, relative to my age, that like had no idea about that shit, and it's like all like, yeah, Atlanta made it, and just kind of accepted that. But it definitely like influenced a lot later on, like, the formula, how, what I'm saying, like how like the way I apply certain like drum patterns and stuff to my beats, and even like the sampling aspect is like fucking ridiculous in Memphis, like the shit that they sampled, how they was able to like maintain such a dark tone, like I don't know. But definitely later on, like a lot of Project Pat, a lot of the third, I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh.
Tommy
Wright.
Tommy Wright. Yes, sir.
Shout out Tommy Wright.
Tommy Wright.
Shout out Tommy Wright.
I was to hell of Tommy Wright in like the 11th grade. Like I didn't even know this. What?
I think what you said about the sampling jump is interesting because like that just the way they like sample their own songs.
Right.
That shit is really cool to me.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love it, and like just in general, I always love vocal samples like that. Like that'd be my favorite type of thing to loop up. If you like listen to enough of my beats, you'll definitely notice like if I'm gonna sample something, I'm trying to get like a vocal piece in there. But like I don't know, the way Memphis does it, it's just so dope, bro.
It's so gangster. Like the beat, the OG beat still be in the background, like whatever. Like they try to filter it out, but whatever piece that like remains is just like ringing in the background of the track. bro. And as far as like samples, bro, 3 6 Mafia Testing My Gangster is one of the hardest samples I've ever fucking heard, bro. Like, listen, if y'all ain't heard that shit, listen to that shit. Then 3 6 Mafia Testing My Gangster. Then go listen to, I think it's Willie Hutch theme of Foxy Brown, but it's the overture though. It's not the actual theme. It's like they took the like the overture. They really dug deep into the soundtrack to find this sample.
I really would love to just have watched like Paul and them make beats, just because I feel like the sounds and the textures, like I be like really trying to figure out where they got that shit from. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think at least they was using like regular synths and stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they were sampling just like everybody else. But it's like, where are these specific dark ass sounds coming from?
What's crazy is they was on this, like, they was on some East Coast shit, but it was down, like, they had their MPs, they had their records, like, they was really on some, like, DJ Premier shit, but it was just the down south version. Like, they went over no break beats. It was over some, you know what I'm saying, some trap stuff, but they definitely MPC heads. Like, Juicy still rock with the MPC X now, like, you know what I'm saying, and even when you get into the 2000s, they had like Triton boards and shit like that. They had like, motifs of the Rolling Phantoms. They had all them type junks, but back in the day, like them 90s, that 90s shit was some MPC shit. But that's what I always like, enamored me. Like I always started MPC is like, like, you know what I'm saying, just like straight. But they really was, you know what I'm saying, like, see, you know what I'm saying, the note repeat. They really was like, you know what I'm saying. They just,
that's that hustle and flow, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody got love for hustle and flow, bro? Do niggas in Memphis love?
It's an element to it that I super fuck with, because I definitely grew up on that shit. But then it's like just enough to where people can be like, oh, cool, it was recorded in Memphis. There's some elements in it, but it's got some inaccuracies.
It got some inaccuracies, and I don't even think most of it was recorded in Memphis. I think a lot of it was recorded in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. But for one,
that church
shout out Craig Brewer, because that is a really good movie, if not a great movie. Yeah. In retrospect, it's gotten hella love, but I remember when that shit came out, and I remember it was not a lot of love in Memphis for it. But the world loved it. That's what really, that's what really mattered.
And the soundtrack, like the whole soundtrack was made by 3 6.
Yeah, 3 6 did that shit, and
all the songs.
Al Capone went crazy on that shit.
Scott Bomar did the actual cinematics, like the score.
Nah, shout out, that shit was crazy. Like, in retrospect, it was a great movie. When it came out, I think Memphis was so blinded by some of the inaccuracies, which is rightfully so. You know what I mean? Like, Terrence Howard butchered Maine. Like,
Maine.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even watch the movie without laughing at how he say that's the main part. You know, like, niggas,
he a lemon
what
lane.
He said more in Memphis than Maine, and so you butcher that shit all throughout the movie. It's kind of hard to focus on.
That Maine a lemon lane.
You know what I'm saying? The underlying themes of the movie, or some of the cinematic or whatever. But in retrospect, I think it had a great comeback. But I remember, and I was recently watching a documentary, not a documentary, but a YouTube spliced together video of a bunch of Memphis producers and rappers just like shitting on the movie for like an hour. And back then, it was back in that time. And I'm pretty sure they got different opinions now. Maybe some of them don't, but I definitely think over time the movie has aged well, and I think some of the criticisms out the gate was what's the word I'm looking for? Was true, like was deserved. But overall, I think it was a great movie, though. And it's funny as hell to watch now. Like, I love it.
What were the biggest inaccuracies? So we got Maine.
Yeah, you got Maine.
Maine.
And then DJ's whole persona was really like not a Memphis nigga. Like, I don't know a nigga in Memphis.
Like, fucking man had the whole fucking perm shit, like the whole.
And even as a pimp, like, if I don't want to get too into degrading women and pimping and how how their world is, but I mean, I know
DJ was soft.
They was talking.
He put the woman and the baby out.
They was talking shit to him and a whole lot of shit. But that's a whole another conversation. But also, like I said, I don't think a lot of that movie was even shot in Memphis. I don't like only scene I saw that was Memphis that I knew it was Memphis was the Crystal Palace shot. And I think that was towards the end of the movie.
That and then like that church.
Yeah.
I think that church was. But that's pretty much it.
The church. There was a scene shot at Claiborne?
That might have been the church.
Yeah. That one scene where he like teared up and shit.
Oh yeah, at the with Anthony Anderson or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that scene where they came up with "Hard Out Here for a Pimp," bro. That shit like set a lot of niggas off. Like, bro, have y'all seen the movie with Anthony Anderson?
Honest, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, have y'all seen the newer movie where he was like a retired like A&R type giant?
Yeah,
I think
it's called Beats.
Yeah.
Oh damn. I heard of it, but I ain't never seen it.
But even to keep it like all the way live, like at the time, "Whoop That Trick" was a funny song. Like I don't think people respected that song. Like you know what I'm saying? At that time, right now I listen to that shit. That shit hard.
That shit
I listen to that shit now. I was like, that shit is hard. But at that time, people were,
lame.
you know, were laughing at that shit, and it was the fact that Terrence Howard was rapping that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that just really like that's. If you can't find nothing that's wrong, like your lead character that disconnected from what the source is supposed to be.
Oh, shout out Da Vinci in this genre. What's good, G?
Da Vinci, that's what he heard, or she heard.
That's what he heard.
That's what he heard.
I'm still working that into my daily vocabulary.
Exactly. It's
Hold
a
me
bit
to
tough.
that.
I make mad beats. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, Elo, you supposed to have that queued up.
Ah, shit, my bad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Damn, my
Yes,
shit
sir.
quiet.
Perfect.
This man playing the wrong dress. It's alright. Forget it.
I'm gonna get it together.
We gotta hook that up for next week.
I'm about to add that joint right now.
Shout out to Memphis 901 Day. All right, so C Major, tell us about being in Miami, making beats.
Yeah.
Getting paid to make beats for Red Bull.
Oh man, it was an experience. This is the first time on this level I've been flying out somewhere, and so everything was like, to me it was top notch. It was probably some regular shit to anybody else, but I fly on Allegiant where the plane be about the size of this room and motherfuckers be drunk on that joint and all this shit. But this plane, we was American the whole way. I don't know how y'all feel about American Airlines. I know there's some airline talk, these niggas be going crazy, but American was fire. It was fire. So the flight was off top, was pretty dope. The experience there was crazy. Like before we even got to like making music, we like went to this. We were supposed to go to this restaurant in Miami called Miami.
Miami.
And so we touched down. We unload our bags, and he was like, "Yeah, we gonna meet up in the lobby. We gonna go to Miami." And we was like, "What's that?" He was like, "Yeah, it's just like a little Tex-Mex restaurant. It's like a Mexican, whatever style restaurant." He's like, "All right, bet. Niggas want some tacos. We hungry." And nobody really ate. I got there the earliest. I was there like 9 a.m. So I had to go to the hotel restaurant and get something to eat, which was it was fire. But we gonna go all the food. But anyway, we show up at Miami, and this is not a fucking restaurant. It's like a full blown ass club. Like they got a red carpet set out. The motherfucking bouncer outside got on the fly open shirt with the tight ass dress pants and some loafers and shit. So I'm looking like, bruh, all of us like straight off the plane. I got on some shorts and some J's and a t-shirt. I'm looking at the dress code. That shit say in big ass letters, no shorts. I was like, bruh, these folks is not finna let us in this motherfucker. I was like, bruh, y'all couldn't have told us that this was a fucking club. Like, I had just bought some jeans too. Like I had just bought some jeans at the little hotel. I could have got fresh to get in this jump. But anyway, we talking to the bouncer or whatever. He called like the club manager or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, man, we can't let y'all in. Like we love Red Bull, we love y'all, but we can't let y'all in." He said some shit like, "If y'all was F1 race car drivers, we'd let you in." Some slick racist shit, but we ain't get into that. But anyway, that was slick fire though. We ended up like jetting from them and ended up going to this other place called the Blind Monkey or some shit like that. And that shit was an experience. It was dark as fuck in there. And it's like projectors shooting off like real time like monkeys, and they're like walking across. It looked like it's like real live animals and stuff walking across the wall, but it's all like projection mapping, shit like that. The DJ booth was like a fucking tank, and he was in there just like spinning reggaeton records. And I literally forgot about the whole genre of reggaeton. I literally forgot that it existed, and that's all they listened to in Miami, and so that's all I was hearing. And so it was like being reintroduced to like a new genre of music, because I legit like I've been listening to rap I've been so deep into like rap and shit, I ain't even been thinking about nothing else. And so the culture of that was just like shocking as fuck. But anyway, we get to this little restaurant, The vibes was crazy. It was kind of weird because it was still like a club atmosphere, and I ain't on no club shit. Everybody was drinking. I got like some water and shit like that. But we ate fucking good, bro. They brought like this like fucking sushi plate that had like fireworks and shit shooting out of them. The sushi was amazing. I got fried chicken, you know what I'm saying, on some black shit.
You got fried chicken at the sushi spot?
I got fried. It wasn't even a sushi spot. I don't know what type of restaurant it was. The menu was fucking wide open. It's like whatever you wanted they had, and we got like damn near all that shit. They brought out shrimp. I got the fried chicken. I couldn't see my plate at all. I don't know what the fuck was in that shit, but it was good. It was so dark in that bitch. But anyway, we if we wasn't making music, we was eating some good ass food, and Red Bull paid for all of that shit, and that was the most amazing part. I didn't have to be like, oh man, do I want to get this? I just got whatever the fuck I wanted, and then everybody else got what they wanted, and then we passed it around. So it was just fire. It was dope. But aside from that, like the actual music making part, if I can be honest, the actual making beats part wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it was gonna be. Mainly because we had a very strict guideline of what they were looking for, and it was really two types of beats. It was boom bap, which is like the hip hop shit. Yeah, I know what boom bap is. Then it was the shit they called double time, and this was for a Red Bull beat battle, but it's a Spanish beat battle. And so they got this thing called double time where they just rap really fast on some twisted shit, but the beat is like halftime, and so it'd be like boom, almost like some dubstep shit, kind of like. And so those are the only two beats that was really looking for it. So, you know what I'm saying, anytime and one of the champions from the last year's battle came in, and anytime we like kind of veered off that, he was like, y'all got any like boom bap? Yeah, or some shit like that. Like he just pushed us back into the jump, which was, you know what I'm saying, that's all they needed. And that's what we, you know, I was aware of that coming in, and so I wasn't disappointed. But it was still dope. And then it was a learning curve, like working with somebody else. Out of all the people, so the group before us did 74 beats total.
Damn.
And so I was trying to smash.
You said the group, like you talking about like, so they did.
It was two. Before. It was two of these. Yeah, we were the second go. We were the
all
second round of producers of 6, and so it was 6 before us. They was just leaving when we was coming in, and so that group did 74. And so me, I'm like, bro, let's do 100. Like, let's kill. Like we like, and we could have. I feel like I was the. I feel like me and this other guy were like the only people really trying to go for the number. But at the end of the day, like not hitting the number. I haven't heard the other group's beats, but the quality of our shit was crazy. Like the producers I was working with, man, were fucking amazing. One of the producers, Eric, I don't know if y'all use Splice drum kits or whatever, but he has a Splice kit that I use all the fucking time. Like I had to shake this man's hand. It's like a 504 bounce kit, and it got a bunch of like bounce loops, and it's like the bounce clap, and then a bunch of like vocals and shit. But he made that shit. He made another pack that I've used some shit for too. And he was fucking going crazy the whole time. Like everybody was just going crazy. We really had a high talent level of producers there. And that was really the main thing. Like I thought the main thing I was gonna get from was like, all right, I'm finna go in here, I'm finna murder these beats, I'm finna smash these beats, and then I'm gonna probably like slow out on the networking. But the networking was fire. Like that, we really made a family. Like we was in that bitch every morning. We had breakfast every morning on some yay shit. We had breakfast every morning, and we just kind of like talked and joked, and we had hella fun like doing this shit. It was not like, you know, any stress in the studio. It wasn't no ego. It wasn't no jealousy. You know, like none of that type of shit that you would have thought it would have been with, you know, 6 producers from all different parts of the world. Like it was a lot of love. And we cranked out like I think we was like 70 beats, and I was doing like 10 a day. Whoever I was, we was gonna knock out 10 beats, like whoever I was with. And so first day I did 10, second day me and your boy, I think we did 8. The second day we was focusing on arrangement, a little bit tough on that day. And then the third day we ended up doing 11. And so we was knocking them motherfuckers out, and them jumps is hard. Like I know we're gonna hear a lot of them jumps come when the battle come up. But yeah, the overall experience was like, it's crazy. Miami is fucking crazy. I don't fuck with cities like that. I be going to cities and I'll be like, it's cool, but I got to get back home. I damn near did not want to leave Miami. Like Miami was an amazing city, bro. And me and my girl going back in a few weeks, and I'm excited to go with her and like see that city with her. And like that city is crazy though. Like it's so colorful. Like I went to shout out to Mad if you still in this jump, bro. I went to 7-Eleven and got me I don't even, you know what I'm saying, I ain't a 7-Eleven guy like y'all, but just for y'all, you know what I'm saying, I went to 7-Eleven two nights, you know what I'm saying. I got me a Slurpee and I got me a LaCroix. Well, I got me a bubbly. They ain't had LaCroix, but I got me a little, you know, I got me some bubbly.
Yeah, I feel
bubbly.
But yeah, I was just walking. I you know, be in my hotel room, like we got up 10 in the morning, or we had breakfast at 10 in the morning. I had to get up early that, but we had breakfast every morning at 10 in the morning. Went straight to the studio after that, so we get to the studio about 11 o'clock, and we'd be done at the studio really about that was cutting it short. The guy that was over it, he was kind of like mixing and waiting on us to, and really like not babysitting us, but doing his work. And so he wasn't working on any beats, so he was really just sitting there like waiting. So when 9 o'clock came, he was like, all right, let's wrap it up, guys. And he was ready to go. And so we were supposed to be there till 11 every night, but we ended up leaving most nights around 9. And so we'd go back to the hotel, we'd eat dinner together, and then we go back to our rooms. And so after that, I would just like walk around the city for a little bit. I'll either walk around the hotel or walk to 7-Eleven and just look at the city. The city is like it's in New York in respects on the weekend. Like 2 and 3 a.m. It's lit. Like the streets is lit. It's a bunch of people walking down. It's hella colorful, hella lights going, hella music going. And so it was just a good vibe there. And to top it off, the people that put this together, Frank El Medico and another guy, Echo, they both are reggaeton fucking legends, bro. Like the guy that put this together, Frank, he worked on like Daddy Yankee records. He got a diamond plaque for mixing. He's a mixing engineer and recording engineer, and so he got like hella like accolades in the reggaeton world on some mixing shit. And then Echo, the other producer that kind of like set this up too, and who we chilled with the first night, is a fucking producing legend. Like he's the reason why we had Daddy Yankee in the States. He brought him from Mexico over here, and it literally, like at that first night at that little club we was there, the DJ played like 5-7 records, and every record Echo was like, yeah, this me too. He's like, this me too. Like bro had shit in rotation, bro, like, and the shit was crazy. And so getting a chance to like meet them and talk with them was amazing in itself. And that was super cool. Echo got a pack too that I ended up downloading, and he's an NPC head, so we got to chop it up about like NPC. He saw me like work on a lie. I was doing shit that he was like, bro, what is that? Like, and I was showing him some of the new updates because I don't think he probably ain't touched his in a little minute. And so I was just showing him stuff. We got a chance to like chop it up. It was just dope, man, to be able to talk to legends like in a world that I said I wasn't familiar with, and I literally forgot existed, but to get smacked and be like in front of like legends, and some of the guys that were there with me knew who these people were, and to see them like go crazy, I was like, bro, these folks must have done some crazy stuff. But yeah, the overall experience was crazy. I got way more I can go. I can talk way too long for this, but
Matt B said the streets is lit.
The streets is very lit in Miami. Like the motherfuckers do not calm down. Yeah.
Did you see like hella Ferraris and Lambos?
Hell
and shit?
Yeah, I saw the if y'all hear Tyler Creator talk about McLarens and shit like that, but the Ferrari, I seen a McLaren every time I stepped outside of my hotel, and it wasn't the same one. It was different ones. And the hotel we were staying at was nice as fuck. Like it was a nice ass hotel, and so it was a lot of like Mercedes, G-Wagons, Ferraris, Lambs. I saw a whole bunch of Lamborghinis, like all that shit. Like that's just a very common thing. Riding to the studio, it was a dude. One day we was Ubering to the studio, and it was a McLaren next to us, and he kept like every red light he had stopped and like just rev his engine and then look around like for people to like notice him and shit. I was like,
who looking?
Yeah, like, stop that weak ass shit, bro. You in Miami? Act like you been somewhere.
Was it like raining the whole time?
It was supposed to, but it did not. So when I touched down to the hotel, the lady was like, "What you gonna do?" Like, how you know what I'm saying? And I was like, she was cool, like, bro.
She was trying to holler.
She wasn't trying to holler. No, nah. Look, Christine, if you watching with nobody trying to holler, you feel me? She was just doing her job. Anyway, but nah, everybody was like super talkative and cool when I touched down. Like when I got into my first Uber, bro, I was trying to like call my mom and let her know I was there, call my girl, bro, like talk my ear off the whole time. And I fucked around and told him that I was dibbling and dabbling in Uber Eats here. And so we got on a whole conversation, and he kept like talking to me about like how much he don't make enough money doing this shit. And it wasn't like no conversation where I could zone out because he kept saying, "You understand?" It's like one of them conversations where and he was older, so I was trying to be respectful and shit. So I'm like, "Yeah, I got you. He was cool, but I was like, "Damn, man." So the whole ride there, I was talking to him. That was about a 30-minute ride. Then I get to my hotel, and all of a sudden I got a shit. I don't know if I'm telling y'all too much information. But I get to the hotel, and I got a shit. And then this lady want to talk about what I'm about to do in Miami for the next 5 days. I'm like, bro,
what you getting into?
give me my room key so I can go bless this bathroom real quick.
Yo, the bathroom looked
The
pretty
bathroom,
nice, bro.
was, the
Like,
hotel room, it was small. It was a little one room was young, but the hotel was fucking nice though. Like the little bathroom was cool. It had the overhead shower. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a nice experience. My room was high as fuck, so I ain't chill on that balcony too often. But
what do you think made it like? What do you think made it easy for you to like have chemistry with everybody that you was grouped up with? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we got chemistry when we make music, but we've been knowing each other for so
forever.
long. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, what do you think it was that made you all as strangers be able to link up and work so well?
I'm gonna say really one of the main things was like the maturity level of everybody and like the status. Like everybody was coming from their own like success, so to speak. Like I'm coming from here doing what I do, but in LA, my boy Chaboy was coming from doing some crazy shit in LA. My boy Cutso was coming from doing some crazy shit in his part of LA. Like it was 3 people from LA. Then Ty, like everybody had already and not let alone everybody had already, you know, been in their worlds for so long to be comfortable without having, you know, trying to have a pissing contest and none of that shit. Like we was just cool with like hanging out and doing this, but also we were all older too. I was the youngest person there. And so I think we was just at a level of maturity to just be like, bro, let's get this bag. Like we all in it together. Like it wasn't no, we understood the assignment and you know what I'm saying, we killed that shit. Like it wasn't no like, it was like, bro, we got it. They doing all this. Like all we gotta do is make beats, you know what I'm saying, and not blow up the studio. You feel me? Like, and so I feel like everybody was just at a maturity level that allowed for that shit to happen. And that first night, for us to not have to, you know, come in the first night and go straight to the studio, like, you know what I'm saying, we didn't touch the studio until the second day we were there. Like that first night I was there the whole day, and like I said, 9 a.m. and until the next day. And so I really spent the whole day in Miami before I had to, you know, unpack my MPC or whatever. And so we really just got to know each other that first night, and especially not, you know, I think not getting into that club was pretty dope because we ended up going to another, which was a similar club, but we all kind of sat in this like Indian style little table situation, and we just traded, you know what I'm saying, conversation, traded knowledge. That was putting me on the reggaeton. Like they was so, everybody was so excited to either teach or talk about. We all nerds. I don't know if y'all seen the Tyler Creator interview, but we all gave a fuck, you know what I'm saying, about what we did. And so that was evident, and we weren't afraid to nerd out in front of each other. Like when I asked your boy, like, yo, what's, you know what I'm saying, who, you know, what's reggae, or what's this artist that they playing right now, or, you know, who's this, you know, dude sitting in front of us that's saying he produced all this record. He, you know what I'm saying, nerded out, and you know what I'm saying, and it brought me into that world. And then the crazy shit, your boy, one of the kids from Pasadena, in LA, boy touched down and had a show instantly in Miami, like a DJ set. Like the coolest shit I ever seen. He was like, yo, y'all playing at the Blind, whatever tonight, y'all come check me out. It's like, how the fuck you get a show we just turns down here? But that's some, like, he knew some homies that was there randomly in Miami, pulled up, hopped on the DJ on the ones and twos, and so that night we went out to see him. So we basically went to a club and went out to see him, and to see him spin. And that was another like bonding moment because we don't know nobody there, so we just all, you know, squatted up. Right. And went to the joint. And so we really had some team building, like exercises slick before, just on some natural, you know, being in Miami and being grown in Miami and, you know, being able to go out and do shit. Like,
did y'all settle into, you know how when we make beats together, it's like everybody kind of naturally just settles into a role. Yeah. And that role may change per beat, but did y'all find yourself like, was it like, yeah, you would just be sitting back on the drums and then that'll just be kind of it, you know what I'm saying, type stuff?
Nah, it went like I was expecting that to happen, but it didn't really happen like that. The first night though, I was working with this with my boy DJ Hopper, and we had a system, and that's because we had a goal. Like we kind of realized it was a numbers game. Like not everything, but with this level of producers in the room, most of what we make is gonna be fire. And so we weren't finna spend time working on the schematics or, you know what I'm saying, touching up here, touching up there. It was just finna crank out as many fire jumps as we can. Cause at the end of the day, all Frank was gonna do was listen to these roughs and then tell us, hey, I want that one, stem this out. And he was gonna mix everything anyway. Right. And so we weren't focused on that. So we was just focused on cranking out. And so when me and him, we fell into a rhythm, but it was like a flip flop. Like he had some drums, I'm chopping up the sample. It's just whatever happened first, we just adapted. It was like some point guards. It was like 2 point guards on the floor. Like, all right, you got the rock this time. All right, I'm gonna float to the corner. I'm gonna do this, or whatever. But we didn't really settle until like, not like when it wasn't like, we know with that take. I feel like that take time. Like me, you, and Mad, or we all together. We know what I'm saying, off top from a blank canvas. We know what's up. You know what I'm saying. Right. And we weren't that locked in, but we was all, proficient enough in our craft to be able to adapt to whatever. Like if I started on like it was one of the jumps we did 2 beats. It was the first 2 beats we did, and I hadn't gotten no drums off, so I was like, fuck this, I'm about to get some drums off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just loaded up the easy drummer, my little preset, whatever I had it already locked and loaded, and and just started fucking around with the break. He was like, hell yeah, and then we locked in like that. And so it was just really like niggas just point guarding they shit. Like I just bogarted what I wanted to do, and not even bogarted, but like I just efficiently got to what I wanted to do, and then we adjusted, and then he got efficiently, like the next beat he pulled or whatever he had started or whatever, and then I adapted to that. But that's really how it worked, especially that first night. Me and Shaboy had a different vibe, because Shaboy is like you almost, like he really like on some sound design shit. He really on some like chord shit, and he was coming from reggaeton too, and so I did kind of like take the reign on drums for the most part. But I was still like chop up, what I'm saying, something. It was just whatever the case needed, whatever the beat needed. And then me and the last time we only did 3, of course when it was there 3 days. So the last day, me and Cutso paired up, and we both, I feel like we both was kind of locked in the same mindset. He was really on like break beat shit, me too, and so we was just passing break beats like, all right, we're gonna start with this one, we're gonna start with that one, or here you go to the restroom, and then I like have half the beat like done, and then he'd just do his half. And he was really good. Like Cutso was really good. He was laughing at me because he felt like he wasn't doing enough, but he was really good at finding like the one sound. Like I would have if you're looking at percentage, like 90% of the beat, and he would come with the 10% that's gonna make a nigga be like, I want that beat. Like it would be 1 cent, it'd be 1 note, and he'd be like, that shit is it. Like and that's it. And he was laughing. He's like, bro, you always find a way to to make my sound stick out or whatever I do this. I was like, nah, like you really, what you doing, it might have just seemed like some little shit to you, but that's the glue. Like that's what I would have spent the next 20 minutes or whatever, 10 minutes trying to figure out what what that sound was or where it was or whatever. And so me and him, if we could have got another 10, we would have been on some shit. Like we would have really found a pocket. But even still, like with the time we had, we found a good pocket. But everybody, I wanted to work with everybody. The dude with the packs, I did not get to. Eric, my boy Eric Bardelas, I did not get to work with him, and I was disappointed. That's the main one I wanted to work with, the whole time, and I'm glad I got to work with everybody else, but I got to lock in somewhere and somehow with that dude, because he was, every room he was in, it was some crazy shit. Like what the fuck, and he on some sound design shit for real. He quick as fuck with that shit, kid. Like he's ridiculous with that shit, bro. And cause he make packs, and so I feel like he just got like his template set up to make shit sound. Like even if he took a loop, like we all had to say, well, he didn't have to, but we were all encouraged to take splice loops. And so even if it was a like regular ass splice loop, he was quickly finding something to change that and turn it up to the next level. And he was killing. And he played us some records that he worked with some artists that he worked with back in New Orleans, and his shit was fire. But I was inspired by everybody there, like. And I felt like I did the same to them, and I think that was the main thing that allowed us to like work together that well together. We all were inspired by each other.
That's dope, bro. Yeah, bro. That shit just like what you saying just got me inspired, bro. I've been like revamping my template and everything, and I'm like, man, I want to like.
Man.
I'm trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole environment just sounds mad fun and inspiring, man.
Bro, if we could have worked on, and I ain't complaining or nothing like that, cause we knew what this, like I said, we knew what the assignment was, and so we knew, you know, what we had to do, and we did that shit. But if we ever get the chance to assemble again and work on some records, bro, like we gonna go fucking crazy. Like we had Ty, and I didn't even get a chance to mention my boy Ty. Shout out Ty Product. And it is this man playing the guitar like I don't even know who the fuck, whatever guitar player that you can name. This man was killing that shit, and we didn't even get a chance to like mic him up or patch him in or none of that shit. Like that's how fast we was going. But if we ever get a chance to assemble again, like that's a crazy ass group of guys that could really like do some crazy shit. We did do some crazy shit, but we can really lock in and make a crazy ass project with all of our influences in our different worlds.
Yeah, they got 70-something beats. I'm excited to hear the battle. Like,
yeah, me too.
How this,
and the battles are crazy, bro. Like the way they be rapping, it's all Spanish and it's all like crazy. I don't know what the fuck they be saying until the crowd be like, oh, and like, hey, Mr. John, you must have said some shit.
But you gotta have Google Translate up real
bro. And then they like mix in English every now and then. Like I heard Wu-Tang in one of the jumps. I was like, you must have went crazy.
Yeah, you go crazy.
Yeah, boy, going crazy.
Man said Wu-Tang.
Said burger. Like, oh yeah.
He in there.
He said burger.
But yeah, I'm excited for the battle too. It's in LA. I wish I could go. I think me and my lady would be in Miami at that time. But I'm gonna definitely be tuning in, see what they picked.
Man,
well, my G's, we got 2 minutes left. Any final thoughts, words? Any final questions from the chat real quick? Government Housing Part 3, the secret projects. And shout out to Da Vinci, man. Glad you came into this jump, bro.
Shout out Da Vinci.
Shout out Da Vinci.
Yes, Sirski.
Bro, that's the loudest joint I've ever heard in my life, bro. Like, anytime,
one of them decaf
joints. Yeah,
joints.
decaf joints is ridiculous.
I be having to go through them joints and turn the volume all the way down.
Exactly, bro. It's like, come on, man. You know this is exceeding the loudness situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, we are Tight Beat. Shout out I Make Mad Beats. Join us in the chat. He's away right now, but next week we'll be back in this joint. Full cast situation. I want to shout out Shira for helping getting all this set up beforehand. Apologize for the tardiness. We was experiencing some issues with the camera and the GoPros. But yeah.